Hi everybody, Mike with Enviroscape LA, and I'm here today at a project in Manhattan Beach. This is a landscape project. I wanted to show you, let me describe the homeowners. First of all, homeowners have a couple of small kids, have to have grass. Why do they have to have grass? Well, what does a little kid do? You know, if you have a yard, you want to be able to play with the kids, right? Okay, you're not going to play on prickly cactus and needles and so on, otherwise known as native plants. What you're going to play on is you're going to play on grass. Nothing takes the place of real grass. I mean, you know, one of the nice things about it, we're almost approaching summer now. In the summertime, if it gets up to 100 degrees, fake grass, astroturf, whatever you want to call it, synthetic turf, actually, if it's 100 degrees outside, will actually heat up the ground to 140 degrees. Cook your trees. My goodness. So you don't want to kill your plant materials. Real grass, on the other hand, if it's 100 degrees outside, it will cool the ground down to 80 degrees. So nothing takes the place of real grass. One of the big problems, though, with real grass is that people irrigate it as best they can, and the problem with overhead sprays, for example, is you have runoff, or people just way over water the grass. So there's a lot of inherent problems with it. Well, I'll tell you, the biggest problem is probably the runoff. If you water your grass, it will only take about maybe 5 minutes of watering, and then you have runoff. So if you're watering more than 5 to 8 minutes, you're going to have runoff. And where does it run off to? It runs off to the street, picks up motor oil, and it goes out to the beach. So that's a big no-no. Let me tell you the solution to this. Right now, we're going to install grass here tomorrow. Right now, I'm actually in the middle of a sprinkler system, and the sprinklers are on. The sprinklers are on, and how come I'm not getting wet? It's because what we've done, I have the sprinklers on right now. Check this out. This is called subsurface drip irrigation by Rainbird, the copper shield technology. Well, it's got a little spot every 12 inches it comes out. Now what will happen when it's on long enough is these two spots will meet. And so when we put the grass down tomorrow, we're actually going to have this water the grass. Grass does beautifully with this because, number one, it gets full head-to-head coverage, so to speak, or the entire lawn gets wet. And where do you need water for grass, or any plant for that matter? You need it at the root zone. So there's no runoff, there's no overhead sprays. It's a beautiful thing. And it keeps it just alive just as much as any other sprinkler system. But here's the kicker. You save a big whopping 60% water on your water bill for your grass as you do over a traditional overhead spray system. Come on and let me show you a couple things. So, you know, if you're going to do drip irrigation for your lawn, and you know, we only work in the South Bay area, a little bit in LA, but we're not everywhere. Let's say you're in San Diego or San Francisco. Make sure that your installer does these couple of very, very important things. When you do a subsurface drip irrigation job, you want to make sure that you leave a clean out. This is what we call a clean out. A year from now, if there's any debris in the line, it'll come right here. You turn it on and you'll actually get rid of any debris. You flush it like that, and boom, that's it. You're done for the next year. So also, we put something called an ARV, an air relief valve, because drip irrigation is a lot like a balloon underneath the ground. And if you put a lot of high water pressure into it, and there's air inside the line, it's going to go poof. And you do that a few thousand times, it's going to wear out your system very quickly. So we put the air relief valves. Great thing to have. And let me show you what this looks like. Now, when you're going to do it for grass, you want to put it under the ground. When you do it for planters, you actually put it above the ground. So this is a really good example of what I'm talking about. So this is actually what it looks like when you're going to put plants, because the thing you don't want to do is you don't want to like dig a plant or put a plant here and say, oh, I think I want to put here, slice, and you're going to slice right through it. So you want to leave it above the ground, and then once you put your plants in, you put mulch on top, then you don't see anything. So with the subsurface underneath the ground, on top of the surface, and then lay mulch on top of it, it's a perfect system. One other thing too, also, if you're going to have an installer do this and not do it yourself, make sure that they put the appropriate filters on. Here's a couple of filters. They're different color filters because they're different PSI. This is 40 PSI, that's 30 PSI. pounds per square inch. It's jargon from the drip irrigation world. Also, we put a LVF. This is a special valve right here. If the valve doesn't have a lot of linear feet, it might not shut off with a regular valve. So we put this LVF. It's a special valve. It'll shut off with just the tiniest of pressure. You don't want to make the mistake of if you put the wrong type of valve on, it just doesn't shut off. But that's not something that you should worry about if you have the right stuff. It's only if you have an installer who doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, that's about it. This is just another, I just wanted to bring you out here just to promote water conservation. We're having the worst mega drought in our history of California, and it's affecting everybody. We've all got to do what we can right now to join hands and do our part, not just for us, but for future generations. This is sustainability expert Mike from Enviroscape LA signing off. When you think sustainability, think Enviroscape LA.